morning. Good morning. Good morning. Who's having fun so far? All right. All right. Raise your hand real quick just so I can get a little pulse check. Who was in my sales email class? You came back for more. Okay. Well, I will try to, for those of you who already heard part of this, at least my little intro, I'll try to change it up a little bit. So just a little bit about me. When Bonnie asked me to speak at the Travel Quest World event, I was really excited, and she asked me what I wanted to talk about, and I said email, and particularly selling with email and email marketing, because I think it's probably the #1 way that you all can build your business. So a little bit about me. Past, I was born and raised in Florida, St. Petersburg area. Went to the University of Richmond, played football there. I'm a huge Buccaneers fan, unfortunately. Stayed around Richmond after college, went to work for Capital One as a consultant. Then got the bright idea that I'd like to open a restaurant, and did that for a number of years. And it was, I call it my MBA School of Hard Knocks. Left that to go work for a fledgling little franchise company called Rapid Refill. It was in the print services and commercial print services, and we had retail stores, and helped that business grow from 20 stores to 140, and eventually was running that business for a while. So then, after that experience and living in the great state of Minnesota for 6 years, I decided that cold was not my forte, and I wanted to head back south. So at present, I have 3 beautiful children and a lovely wife, Jillian. My kids are 8, 11, and 13, and they keep me really, really busy. They're a lot of fun. I love to cook. I love to travel with them. Started Travel Equity Partners in 2014. Bonnie and I will talk a little bit more about that during our little chat at lunchtime. We have a number of businesses that are part of our company, our partnership, and they're all super fun. And I am thrilled to be here with you today, and I'm excited Bonnie asked me to do it. So that is my present. In the future, I hope that I can be a Disney boat captain or ride attendant through the 7 Seas Lagoon. Welcome aboard. And if that doesn't work out, maybe I'm all Santa Claus. Okay. And that's probably what it would look like if I helped the kids. Hopefully you're not crying like that by the end of this. Okay, so quick question. I want everyone to raise their hand if you have a yes to any of these questions. So, is anyone looking to dramatically grow your business next year? Hopefully everyone's hands go up on that one. Anyone looking for more sales from past clients? Okay, if you raise them, keep them up. Who wants more new clients? Okay, and who wants to be more efficient? Okay, does anybody have your hand down still? Wait, leave them up, leave them up. Does anyone have your hand down? Anybody? No. Ken? No. Okay, keep them up, please. Go with me. Okay, who, and if you say no, I want you to lower your hand. Who has a website or a blog? If you do have one, keep your hand raised. Okay, good, good. Who is already using email marketing? Okay, some of you, good, good. Who has a list building strategy? Okay, good, still got a couple, excellent. Who segments their lists? Good, good, good. Who has a content strategy? Okay, still got a couple. And who uses analytics of any kind to kind of figure out? Okay. Aaron, what's your name? Shamika. Who else had their hand raised? Judy? What? Okay, I want all 3 of you to stand up. All 3 of you to stand up. All 3 of you stand up. Wait, turn and wave to everybody. Okay, these 3 will be my assistants during this presentation. Okay? Because they apparently already have it figured out. So good job to all 3 of you. Hopefully I won't bore you. Okay. So here's what we're going to talk about. One more quick question. Who's going to be here for the full hour? Most of you, okay. If you need to leave, that's fine. You won't hurt my feelings. Only a little bit. Okay. So we're going to talk about why do we want to bother with all this stuff? Like, why is this important? We're going to talk about some of the core elements. How do we really get started? So how do we get into list building? How do we look for content that matters? And then some tips and tricks to get started quickly and improve your results. Then we're going to talk about what happens. Okay, you've gone through all this stuff. We sent our emails. Now what? And then we're going to have a little contest mixed in here too. Okay? aside from that agenda, does anybody have any burning questions they want to throw into the agenda? Since we have a little more time during this session, we can try to maybe work some things in that are really, burning questions in your mind. Anybody? Okay. Yes.
If you could address things like MailChimp or those type of programs, and how do you get it to where it doesn't go in their junk or that type of stuff?
Okay, any other questions we want to try to work in here? I'll do my best.
How to get people to give you do that.
How to get people to give you their email address?
Addresses, yeah.
So building a list, we're going to spend some time on that for sure. Okay, anything else? Okay, we'll have some time hopefully for some Q&A at the end. So if you think of something, just kind of jot it down and we'll hit it at the end, okay? So why do we want to bother with all this stuff? Number one, if you look at what you do as a business, and you should look at it as a business, one of the biggest things that determines the value of that business, yes, it's how much you sell, yes, it's how much you make, but it's also the size of your customer database. If you don't have a customer database, you do not have a business that you can do anything with. It's great for right here and now, but if you ever want to try to sell it to somebody else, and you can't tell them exactly who these clients are, good luck. Okay, so think of this as a business and start building your list, okay? When you own your list, meaning you have the data, that means you own it, you can control how and when you communicate to that list, okay? This form of marketing is just about the highest return on investment of any type of marketing that you can do. Just about the highest. It's extremely cheap to get started, requires a little elbow grease, some time and energy, but the potential returns are quite big, especially as you start building the list, okay? So I think this is an absolute must for any small business, any large business, any business at all. You might be thinking, but I have tons of Facebook followers or Instagram followers, or insert your favorite social media platform here followers. That's great, but these platforms are constantly changing. When I woke up this morning, saw a story on the news about a number of these businesses who built their entire business around Facebook. And when Facebook changed their algorithms, their businesses have gone through the floor. Several of them have shut down completely, laid off the staff of 5 or 6 people they hired over the last year, and now they're thinking, well, now what? Okay, so social media is fantastic. You cannot rely on it. Things go in and out of vogue. Look at the shift from Facebook to Instagram over the last year. Incredible. Incredible. And some of these things disappear overnight. Anyone still have a MySpace? Remember that? Remember that? These things come in and out, and Lord knows, good luck predicting what's going to be popular next year. Good luck. So social media is great. You should do it. You should invest time in it. But email marketing, if you're going to pick, personally, this is where I think you'd be best served to spend some time. Okay. So I like this quote. If social media is the cocktail party, then email marketing is the meetup for coffee. Okay? So social media is fun. Yeah, hey, we get to mix and mingle. But email marketing, we're going to take a relationship to the next level, right? We're going to get to know each other. We're going to start to build a relationship. I don't know if you saw the quote at the very title screen. Did anybody see that? It's a Simon Sinek quote. It says, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. It's a fabulous quote, right? Tremendous quote. Wish I came up with that one. List building. Another little quote for you here. A small list that wants exactly what you're offering is better than a bigger list that isn't committed. And that's great advice. So a lot of times when we think about email marketing, we think, oh, I need 1,000 subscribers before I can really do anything with it. And I would say that is not the case at all. If you have one subscriber, let's say you started yesterday and you have one person that you've helped book a trip for, great, email them. You have 10 or 100, 1,000, right? Email them. If you have 1 million, that's really amazing. You have a huge business probably, still email them, okay? So do not worry about how many you have. Do not worry how many you have. Just get started. So start simple. You know, again, we need to make sure we're not overcomplicating this. So start simple, set a target. Like anything that we're doing, whether we have at 1, 10, 100,000, a million, still we always want to target. So we want to target for how many new subscribers we're going to generate next month. So when you get home, on your way home, in the car or airplane, think about how many new subscribers you're going to bring in during the month of October. Or even the remaining month of September. Even better, get started now. Tailor that goal. Be realistic, right? Smart goals, measurable, actionable, timely. So if you're just starting and you don't have any subscribers, try to get 5. Right? You don't need to change the world tomorrow. Get 5. If you have 100, get 10. Get 20. But set a goal that's achievable, right, and realistic, and then just keep building and building and building. Consistency is really key, and you want to take these small steps until you get to where you want to be. Is there a question back there?
Yes,
Yeah.
existing clients count, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, as long as we've got the contact info.
Absolutely, existing clients. Sure. So how do you actually do that? Let's start with some obvious things. When you see people, how many people do you know that are part of your personal network that are not email subscribers on your list? A lot? Have you asked them? Have you asked them? Don't be afraid to ask them. Don't be afraid to ask them. So when you see people, when you talk to them, and I'm not saying walk up to the guy filling up gas next to you and say, hey, you want to join my email list? Because that's just awkward, right? No one wants to do that. I mean, you can, but they might report you as a stalker or something. But start with your network, and then ask them to ask their friends. Hey, do you know anybody any of your friends are thinking about traveling? Just ask. Worst they can say is no, or say yes and smile and do nothing. I mean, it's, you know, fine. Add a subscribe link to your email signature, right? Save a little cheap web form. There's a million different places that you can set up a little form for free, just to capture their first name and email address. That's all you need. Okay. And here's just an example that you could stick at the bottom of your email. I'm not in the travel business, I'm in the whisk ranking business. Subscribe and be the first to hear about exclusive travel deals and trending destinations. Put it in your words, right? Make it unique to you. But it doesn't have to be complex or scary or intimidating. Just putting it out there. You're not demanding that they do it, it's just an invitation. It's all about extending invitations. Yes, ma'am?
So a lesson learned from that, my 2 best clients unsubscribe from my once-a-year newsletter. But they are still my best clients. So don't feel bad if people unsubscribe and you see all that, because you see who unsubscribes. Because they just might not want all that email, like once a year.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to come back to that. Encourage forwards and shares from your existing list, right? It's real easy to put those forward or referral links in there. Frankly, those aren't clicked very often, but you at least have to have the invitation, right? You can have contests. Promote a contest for how many people in your list. Let's say you have 10 people. Have a small little contest for who can generate the most referrals to join your list. And you gotta size the contest to the size of your list. So if you have 10 people, let's say maybe you get 5 referrals, which would be a really fantastic rate. Okay, you can't give away a free cruise for that, right? Right? But you might be able to give a $25 Starbucks gift card or something like that. Size the prize to the size of what you're trying to do. Okay? So all of these tactics, no matter how big the scale is, can be tailored. Okay? Next level strategy. So that's kind of the simple ones. Here's some next level ones. So use your website. Have a free downloadable piece of content. Okay? Pick your favorite, the easiest one you can do, and you can do it today. Pick your favorite destination, write your top 10 tips for visiting that destination, or experiencing that product. Put it on your website, subscribe, and get this, and have it as something you email to them. Okay? Super easy. Super easy. I think you'll see, and you'll get an idea when you put that offer out there, is your content actually interesting? Do people value that? So let's say you came up with your top 10 tips for a Caribbean cruise, and for whatever reason you're attracting an audience that really doesn't care about Caribbean cruises. You know, if it's not converting, that might tell you something about the people you're attracting. It might help tailor what your expertise is, or your niche is, to what your audience actually wants. Okay? A lot of times we like to say, or like to think, I want to be an expert in this, whatever this is over here. Well, if your audience wants what's over here, well, be an expert in that. Okay? It's maybe a lot easier to change your expertise than change your audience. So don't be too rigid, I guess is the point there. Look at your website. Where, you know, if you go to your website, where can you actually sign up? Is it visible enough? Do you have a pop-up structure? Do you have a link at the top of the page, or do you have to go all the way down to the footer next to the privacy policy? Right? Make it easy. Don't require a big long form. Do not ask them if they prefer a window or an aisle when they're giving you their email address. Okay? I've seen forms like that. I kid you not. What's your favorite airline, and do you prefer window or aisle? I don't know you yet, man. Right? So, very low. I recommend first name, email address. If you're generating leads from a lot of different places, maybe zip code. Just so you can kind of get a feel. But first name, email address is probably appropriate. All right? If you have a social following, try to convert those social followers. Okay, you can use the Instagram swipe up, and I'm not an Instagram expert, so don't ask me exactly how to do that. You can create a call to action on your social media, so you can put an image that says, you know, click here to subscribe, and have that go to a sign up page. You can boost your call to action posts, so you can pay a little money and have that present to people that you're targeting, right? And those are very reasonable. Facebook paid advertising is a very high ROI in our experience. Ask people that follow you to share that. Not all will, but some will. It's an easy ask, doesn't cost you anything. And again, you can hold a contest with these groups of people. So try to convert that social following, particularly if you're more active in that space. Great way to build your list. Some quick do's and don'ts. Never buy an email list. Hear all the time, oh, look, I can buy 10,000 households in this neighborhood or in this zip code, and they all make over $8 million a year, and it's great. Lord knows where that came from, and I guarantee you, you probably will not get any customers from that, and it's a waste of money. And never try to trick or bait and switch people. Right? Make it clear what they're subscribing for, and then deliver. All right? That's just some quick intro stuff. Content that matters. There is no perfect formula for an email. Here's that authentic word again. It keeps popping up. Be authentic and honest. Be real. Be yourself. That's the kind of messaging that works. Okay, let's go back to her example of her 2 best clients who unsubscribed. So what determines if an email is annoying versus whether it is awesomely exciting and useful? What?
The person reading it. Partly.
Say that louder.
Partly the person reading it.
Not partly, 100%. It's whether or not I want to get it. Is this something I care about? Whether or not I want to receive the email is the sole determining factor of whether that email was useful or annoying. Okay? So how do we, as marketers, handle that?
First you cry a little bit.
How do we handle that? We have to segment. We have to segment. We have to know about our customers, right? If I have 10 customers, odds are they are all not interested in the exact same things. And if I build one newsletter or piece of content and send it to all of them, I'm going to get somebody who doesn't find it interesting, and they're going to unsubscribe. So I have to segment. So I think this is probably the most important and undervalued step in all of email marketing. Okay? When we send an email, we have to be pretty darn sure. In fact, we almost have to know that they're going to be interested and excited to receive it before we send it. Okay? And the way we do that is by segmenting. So there's lots of different ways you can segment. And you can get really carried away with it, right? And there's big companies that have teams of people that just do that, right? For your purposes, start simple. Is this an existing client or potential client? That's one quick segment. So you want to send different messages to those two groups of people, right? You don't want to send your best client the same thing that you're trying to get a new client. Are they an active client? So did they book within the last 18 months? Or are they inactive, meaning it's maybe more than 18 months? So those are two different lists. If they're active, those are people that I want to move from active customer to evangelist, meaning they are singing my praises, they are bringing me clients, referrals, and I'm trying to get them excited about more trips. If it's been more than 18 months, well, maybe they've gone somewhere else. Maybe they haven't taken any trips, or we don't know. So I'm trying to reactivate them. I'm trying to get them re-interested and re-engaged into what I'm doing. Okay? So that's kind of client status. By interest, so what are their past travel interests, either from transactions that you directly know about or information you've gathered from them. Right? We'll talk about how we can maybe do some of that information gathering. So are they interested in cruises, luxury cruises, river cruises, small ship cruises, expedition cruises, sailing cruises? I mean, you can keep parsing it really, really fine. You can look at different suppliers. You know, if they are a princess loyalist, and you know maybe you don't want to send them something from Royal or Celebrity, but you have to know your clients, and you have to. If you don't know them, you have to ask them. Okay. Are they interested in certain destinations? Anytime, I forget, I heard it here this weekend, and it's a fantastic question. Anytime you talk to any client, you ask them, what's next on your bucket list? Simple, fun question for anyone to answer. If you're talking to a client and not asking that, shame, shame, shame. Okay? It's an easy question to ask. And it's fun. It'll almost bring a smile on everyone's face. Right? And so that, and you can just make a little note, whether you use CRM, an old-fashioned notebook, you know, whatever works for you. We're not going to get into that today. Make a note. Right? Oh, this person wants to go to Machu Picchu. Okay, great. Budget. Their budget. This one changes. So you got to be careful, right? I could be, you know, 25, no kids, and I have a certain budget, or I could be, all of a sudden now I'm 35 kids, different job, my budget maybe has changed. Maybe I just retired, now I'm on fixed income, you know, my budget changes, so you gotta be careful and keep up with that one, but it's an important one, right? If I'm, you know, my max annual travel budget is $2,000, don't be sending me Silver Sea offers. You know, it'll just annoy me, right? Or vice versa. If I'm a Silver Sea loyalist, don't send me junk about going to Cancun, probably, you know, unless you know that I like Cancun, all right? So just start with some of those things and get more granular as you gain experience. But start simple. Have a Royal Caribbean list, have a Carnival list, have a customer list, an inactive customer list, and if you only have 10 people, that's the best time to get started, because it's real simple. Here's my customers, here's my non-customers, here's the ones that have been on these suppliers, and so a person can be part of multiple lists, right? Right? Okay. Have a desired outcome. And I'm going to send these slides out, so you don't have to do that. Sorry. I was just kind of fun to see which ones are interesting. What do you want the recipient to do? Okay? Just like we mentioned in the last sales email class, before you send something, have a desired outcome. Got to have a point to doing something. Don't do something without a point to it. Is the point of this to get someone to request a quote? Is it to click through and read a piece of content, right? Is it to give you feedback, or do you want to collect some more information on the slide or let them know what you're doing, right? So you have to have an idea of it. What's our objective? And then you need a call to action. CTA is the fancy marketing acronym for a call to action. That means a way to take an action, a symbol that click here and do this, right? Or call this number and do this. That's my call to action. Every email should just have one primary call to action. So if it's to get you to request a quote, I do not want to send an email that says, request a quote. And then another big thing on join my monthly fruit basket club, or, you know, and then another section where I'm asking them to do something else, right? I have to have a single objective, so when they open that email, they know exactly and immediately, aha, this is what it's about, here's what I'm supposed to do. Okay? Otherwise, you get lost in the shuffle. And don't mix multiple calls to action. Step 3 in this little process, have something to say that will lead to that outcome. So if you want to request a quote, great. Give them something to request a quote for, obviously. Have a promotional offer, a unique offer. It doesn't necessarily be a discount, but have something, a product that you're offering them or an experience you're offering them. If you want them to click through your website to read a blog post or some kind of article, we'll give them a teaser that's appropriate, right? Generate their interest. If you're looking for feedback or other information, say you're conducting a poll, you want to, you're researching a new destination to get their insights. People are interested in helping. They're interested in helping and participating, right? You're not going to get everyone to respond, but you'll get some. And now you're starting to build a profile of what these people are interested in. You're starting to understand your audience a little more. Okay, so now you know what to offer them. And secondary content can then fill in the gaps, right? So if you're feeling that your email is a little sparse, you can have some secondary content to fill in the gaps. So things like destination or product updates, but be careful with that one, right? This isn't, Travel Market News or one of those. They don't really care that Carnival is launching a new ship in Greece, probably, right? They don't care necessarily that Delta's introduced a new class of service. So you gotta be careful with that one. It's gotta be tailored to things you know they're interested in. Current promotions that might go along with this. So down at the bottom, you might have some promotions of things you know they're interested in. And then this is what I like. Share exciting trips that you're working on for other clients. So it's almost like, picture like a news feed or a Facebook stream. Yeah, I sent Sally and her husband Mark to Greece, working with the Robinson family, going to Martinique for the week. Just kind of those things. It demonstrates you know what you're doing. It demonstrates you're a professional. It demonstrates that other people trust you, so they should too. So I like that one to kind of fill in the gaps. All right, so now let's get to actually creating something. All right, it's the subject lines. It's the movie trailer. It's giving people a preview of what's important and what they should expect. Right? And this makes or breaks email marketing. So on average, 80% of people will read the headline or the subject line. Only 20% will actually make it into the email. On average. Okay? So your headline has got to be good. Okay? You almost want to give as much attention to the headline as you do the content. So how do we do that? What's important in a subject line? If it's something that has an offer or has a time bound to it, create urgency. Use urgent calls to action words. Have offers in the headline when it's appropriate. Be short and sweet, be descriptive, and don't bait and switch. So don't say Caribbean cruise $3.99 and you open it up and it's something else. Right? Don't do that. So we're gonna have a little quick contest. So I have two sets of prizes. One is bags of chocolate coins, which are always fun. I have two of those, and then also we're giving away to someone with the best subject line. We're going to give away 3 30-minute email marketing sessions where our marketing team will sit down with you and help get your email marketing program going. Like the nuts and bolts, hands-on, we'll work with you to get it going. Okay? So, we ready? You ready? We don't look ready. We don't look ready. Yes, we're ready? Okay. All right, so here's a sample. Our objective. Travel Quest Network has an exclusive cruise offer with Holland America, not available anywhere else. Okay, this is real and right now, actually. I don't know if it's come out yet, but if it hasn't, it'll be out in the next few days. So, only through Travel Quest Network, this Holland America offer, okay? And you want to generate quote requests to your list of known Holland America passengers or people you think that might want to experience their product. Okay, so let's pretend we already have that list segmented. All right? And we've got to create an email subject that gets them to open it. So if everyone has a little piece of scratch paper, write your subject line and your name on the back. Now, let's test our creative juices here. You can't see this, and I'm going to send this out as part of that one. This is a great little document on different types of subject lines. and some examples kind of in our industry. So this will be in the email download. Yes, Ken?
Are there some things in your subject line you should not put certain words or phrases that will automatically send you to junk?
Expletives.
Stuff like that. Certain phrases.
Generally, yeah, like all caps, don't do that. Things, a bunch of extra punctuation. What's that?
Yeah.
Sure. Extra punctuation. Things. Generally, if you put
Stars.
stars and all kinds of things like that, that doesn't work well. Am I in your way?
No.
Things like even prices sometimes, like the dollar sign, often can get flagged. So you can say things like save or sale, but you just can't get too carried away with it. I guess is a good general rule. Okay, does everyone have their subject line?
Is it bad to have it be a question?
What's that?
Is it bad to have it be a question?
No. No. There's lots of different approaches. I mean, you can make it something that's funny, you can make it promotional, you can make it provocative, you can make it a little edgy, you can make it just straightforward, personal, you know. So we'll talk about some of the different email platforms where you can, insert their name into the subject. Like, hi John, I thought you might be interested in this. Yeah.
While they're doing this, just to refer to the lady over there that mentioned earlier that she had 2 good clients that deleted after you deleted.
Yes.
I've come across that before with agencies where there's a dilemma of do you use somebody's business email address or their personal email address?
Mhm.
And the reason that people sometimes delete is because it's their business address
Yeah.
and they don't want their boss or their company or whatever to get in trouble because they're getting them at work.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily because they don't want to hear from you.
Yeah, that's true.
It's because it's the wrong email address.
That's true.
They want to get it off their street.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Are we putting this off, all of these on one paper? Or
Just write one subject line in your name.
Okay, for each one.
No, this is all we want to send an email with an exclusive offer for Holland America to our Holland America list. What's the subject of that email? Just one. Just one. You don't get 2 chances to win.
I was thinking they were.
No, just one subject. Okay, so I'm going to give them to Shannon. Does everyone know Shannon? This is Shannon. Shannon works in our marketing department. She's fantastic. Recent graduate of Alabama, unfortunately. But she's wonderful. So she's going to read through these and pick a winner. Okay? So if you're done here, we'll hand it in. I need 2 runners up and over. Yeah, if everyone can pass them to the middle, and then she can collect them.
You're ready?
Thank you. Okay.
All right, good.
I bet you we're gonna get some amazing stuff.
Good. Oh, man.
It's my prediction. Did you like your subject? Was it good? Subject line good? Feeling strong about it? Not really? It's okay. It's okay. Throw the fear aside and jump in. Okay, any more? Any more? Okay, so we're going to go through some tips for actually getting the nuts and bolts started on how to do email marketing yourself. So quality over quantity, certainly. Email is a cost-effective way to deliver marketing messages, but don't get carried away with it, right? If it's not something useful and targeted, don't send it just because you can, right? So it's tempting. as those offers come through, you know, every day you see some cruise line offer, oh, $250 onboard credit or this or that. And it's tempting just to say, boom, 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 you know? But real quickly, you'll find that your list is not engaging with you, and they're just skipping it, okay?
I got onto through some email funnel on somebody's list recently who
Mhm.
does travel writing,
Uh-huh.
and she sends something every 3 or 4 days. It's so annoying.
I know who you're talking about.
And I'm so inclined to not go with her out of annoyance, even though I think she's really good.
Yeah.
You know what you should do?
Love her sounds.
Tell her, reply, say, I love your stuff, just not this much of it.
Yeah.
But so that's a question too. I never want to annoy my clients. I'd rather be less,
Yeah.
lesser than be annoying. That would be the worst thing for me if I was annoying.
What's the sweet spot?
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. That's one I've heard for a long, long time. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
It's normal to feel that way. Okay. So as you look to get your email marketing program rolling here, the things you want to think about. What's the voice of your email? What's the tone? What providers, how are you going to do this, right? You don't just want to send it through Gmail, right? What's the schedule? What's the cadence? And what should it look like? What's the layout? So let's talk about finding your voice. Are you high volume, promotional, transactional? Is that your kind of voice? Is that what you want your customers to expect? Fine if it is, nothing wrong with that. If that is, you want to make sure you have offer-driven content, that you're using a very promotional tone and voice, you're making it easy for them to purchase. Not a whole lot of haggling or customization. You know, your business is cranking through transactions volume. Boom, 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 let's go. It's fine, nothing wrong with that. A lot of very successful agents and agencies operate just like that. Some of the biggest in the door. And that's okay. Sometimes we feel like it's bad to be that way. And I don't know where that came from. Oh, they sell a lot. Evil. Right? I think people say it because they're jealous. Frankly. Are you an insider? Are you opinion driven? Are you influential? Are you a thought leader? Are you trying to be the expert, the person they go to who knows travel? Also awesome. Nothing wrong with that. But it's a completely different approach, right? So it's not quite as promotional. You want to talk about your experiences. You want to talk about what you think about things. Having an opinion is important if that's your voice. The transactions have to be tailored to people, customized. That's part of your process, but it still has to be easy, okay? It can't take 57 phone calls and 30 emails for me to buy a cruise from you. Okay? Can't. Even if you are the cat's meow expert. It's still gotta be easy, okay? So, and there's some things in between, but figure out what you wanna be and go with it, okay? So where do I do email marketing? So this came up a little earlier. You asked about MailChimp, and the reality is there are a lot of email marketing providers. And there's a lot of really good ones. I've personally, in a number of businesses, used MailChimp and Constant Contact. Those are probably two that are really easy to recommend if you're just getting started. They have tons of great features and tools, and they're not very expensive. And they're pretty easy to use. ActiveCampaign is a good one. I'm not necessarily here to promote any one of these, but ActiveCampaign is a good one if you want a little more sophistication, some sales automation, some templating. It can allow you to, it's a good platform for mass marketing and then also some one-to-one kind of stuff. And if you really want to make digital marketing a priority, something like HubSpot is a great platform. You see my handy little HubSpot sticker on my computer. HubSpot's a good one if digital marketing is something you really want to be into. But it is not simple, and it's not cheap, so I'll just throw that out there. One thing you don't want to do is send mass emails from your personal email address or your website domain.
Why?
I don't mean to that question brings up just a terrible memory. So I told you about my experience at Rapid Refill, where we had about 140 stores. We had about 600 employees around the country, and we were all on the same email domain, right? And one of our franchisees decided to send a mass email campaign from their company email address. And a number of and their email that they sent wasn't a nice little email. It's one of those awful spammy looking ones. And long story short, our email domain got blacklisted. No one could receive their email for a couple of week period until we had to convince the various list management organizations around the world that we were not a spam domain. And it took a long time, and we then had to separate our corporate email from franchisee email and so forth. But if you're not sending the right kind of messages and you get flagged for spam, it can shut down your website or your email. So, don't do it. Not worth it.
I don't know how to do that.
What's that? What's the alternative?
Yeah.
So using one of these email providers.
Oh, but you could still use your alias, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay,
It'll still
okay.
look like it's coming from you,
Okay.
but it's
I-
actually sent from,
You just mean directly right.
server
from your post.
123.mailchimp.net, whatever. But don't go into Outlook and load up 70 at a time, big as the cab, and start firing them off. That's a bad idea. And a lot of mail providers will limit how much you could actually send in. So as your list gets bigger, you can't even do that. Unless you want to take a lot of time to do it. Okay, so let's go back to your point. I hate getting so many emails. So in my last presentation a little earlier, the average American receives between 125 and 175 emails a day, every single day, 365 days a year. It's a lot of email. A lot of emails. Something like 3 billion emails are sent by American companies a year. It's obnoxious, right? So we all have this mindset that we hate email marketing. Except and unless it's something we actually want to get, right? Then we love it. Hey, I got this coupon for Target, or I got this, interesting newsletter from Travel Market Report, or whatever it is. But if it's something I don't want, that's when I hate it. And that's our fear as consumers, that we don't want to be the business that's obnoxious and sending people crap they don't want, right?
Yep.
So, how do we get around that? How do we reconcile that mindset? Thank you. So you only hate getting things you don't want, but you also need to remember, again, you are a business. And sometimes you have to and here's where we have to separate your person from your business. And that's very difficult to do as an independent business owner. It's very difficult to separate Jason the business owner, Jason the person. Jason the business owner, Jason the person. Tough to separate, but you have to. If you want to get to that next level where you're growing your business rapidly, you have to be able to separate that and know, I'm a business, I'm building my travel company, and I'm not going to be afraid. Not going to be afraid. But that doesn't mean go hog wild, right? We have to be smart and do all the things we already talked about. Segmenting our list, knowing about our customers, sending them stuff we know that they're going to be interested in, right? And when they tell us that they're not interested, we need to react and change, right? So it takes work, it takes effort, but you can do it. You can do it. So have an appropriate schedule. You mentioned someone sending every 3 or 4 days, right? I would say at least you want to hit someone once a month, right? If you're sending that newsletter once a year, that's not enough, right? And then it's an oddity. It's like, well, why did you send me this, right? But at most, twice a week, I think, is the most that would be appropriate. And even then, the message is focus on quality, not quantity, right? So unless you really have something to say twice a week, don't send something twice a week. So focus on messages that you know they're going to be interested in. And if that's once a week, great. If it's once every 2 weeks, great. If it's twice a week, great. Wouldn't go more than twice a week. You're starting to get into danger zone especially as, you know, a small business, odds are you can't have that much to say, right? Where you're talking about daily emails, that I wouldn't recommend. Jim, okay. So leverage your provider. So MailChimp, Constant Contact, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, all these folks. They have terrific and beautiful email templates. Super easy to customize. So don't feel like you have to go and reinvent the wheel, right? There's a million beautiful templates that they all have. You can put your logo in there. They have different templates for different types of objectives. So this one example is a contest, right? There's other things for quote requests. There's templates for you know, promotional offers. There's a million different templates, and with relatively little effort, you can build something that looks truly beautiful. So leverage your providers, get to know kind of what's in their portfolio of choices, and you know, then when you get to the bigger stage where you maybe have thousands of subscribers, then you can start doing some custom design and development. But there's really no reason. I mean, we still use a lot of templated products, right, Shannon?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time. So I mean, you can take templates and make them look fantastic. So leverage your providers. They also, almost all of them, have really great content ideas and advice on how to create relevant content. And so, you know, look to those providers. They almost all have blogs that are kind of attached to their businesses and their services, so you can, you know, get more education around email marketing. Make sure you are looking for mobile responsive templates and check it. They're not always right. So check it what it looks like on a desktop versus a mobile before you send it, because there's nothing worse than getting an email on your phone. And I want to say about half of emails right on phones now. So if you get it and it like comes up, the whole thing's scrunched down on the screen, it's like, whoa, you know, yes.
Can you add to these MailChimp and the other, I'm sorry, get tongue-tied.
That's all right.
The other format for this, can you add video to these emails?
Yeah, a lot of them you can embed video. When you click it, it won't play in the email. It'll take you to YouTube or your website or Vimeo or, you know, whatever video hosting service you want to use. But yeah, you can like basically embed an image of the video and with a big like, you know, play triangle, and so they open the email, click that, and it takes them somewhere else. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So analysis. So I've sent my email. I've built my list, I segmented it, I have content that I think matches my voice and what they're interested in. I've sent it, I'm thrilled, excited. Now, what happens? What happens? We can't just fire and forget. Right? We can't just lob missiles out there and hope it works. We need to test and learn, test and learn, test and learn. So, open rate. First thing I want to look at, did people open it? That's what that measures. Number of emails you sent versus how many actually opened it, okay? And what that is really measuring is your subject line. Is your subject line good enough? Did it attract the attention? One of the great things you can do on things like MailChimp and Constant Contact and any of these services is A/B testing. So you can send, let's say you have 100 people in your group, you can send 10 of them version A, subject line A, 10 of them subject line B, see which one gets open more often, and then send the remaining 80 the one that worked best, okay? Takes a little bit more time to do that, but it can really improve your results, okay? And you can do that with all different parts, right? So the image that you show, the opening headline once you open it, the offer, I mean, you can get carried away if you want. But you can kind of optimize those. And as you build bigger lists, that becomes a little more powerful. Click-through rate. So if you're trying to get people to read the email and take them to your website or somewhere else, okay, they opened it, did they click through? Did they go through to wherever you were trying to send them? Okay, so that's sometimes important. Number one thing that you should be concerned with, if you're going to look at any metric, and that was her point about the newsletter, unsubscribe rate. And that's measuring what we've been talking about all morning. Does your audience care about what you're talking about? Did they find it relevant and useful? If they're unsubscribing, answer is no, unless it's Ken's example of when they just wanted it, you know, maybe not on their work email. Okay? But generally, if they're unsubscribing, it means they didn't find it very useful, unfortunately. So what do? what do we do? What do we do when that happens? Tweak it, right. We don't go crying in our Cheerios, we change. We change until they like it, right? So these are the things you wanna look at, most importantly, unsubscribe rate. And if you're seeing that you're losing subscribers faster than you're gaining them, really reevaluate what you're doing and why, okay? And it's okay if you get an unsubscribe. How many of you have unsubscribed from something? How many of you have unsubscribed from something from a company that you still shop with? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. It's not a big screaming, I hate you. It's just, for whatever reason, maybe I was in a mood, you know? Maybe my kids are yelling at me, or my boss is yelling at me, or, right? It happens. Yeah.
Can your emails be super short, like just like one travel tip? And then, you know, contact me if you're ready for your next bucket list trip or whatever.
Sure, if you think
Really,
your
really
audience,
short.
if you think that's what your audience wants.
Is that
And I
effective
can't answer that.
typically, or is it?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know that I've seen that. But, so, go with that for a second. What does it say?
Well, I'm wondering, because the people that I deal with are very, very busy professionals. And they are annoyed by emails because it's just one more thing. And that's kind of what I try to counter when I do travel planning for them. It's that I take something off of their list. And so anything that hones that message of this is simple, it's clean, it's easy, the expectation from you is fairly low, I do the work for you. I want to keep that consistency of message. So if I send them a long email to read or to process, it counters that message.
Yeah, well, let me just be clear. It does not need to be long, and we're apparently at time here, but it does not need to be long. So it could be, you know, if this particular set of clients is interested in your services, but yeah, it could be something that's hot or trending, and then like a standard kind of link. It's just got to be useful at the end of the day. So experiment with something, you know, send it to part of your list. Okay, real quick, Shannon, who are our runners up?
Okay, the 2 runners up are Michelle, you don't want to miss this, ... from Shamika.
All right.
Okay, I picked that one because it had personalization in it. So like when you see your name in the subject line, it's like,
Love
you
it.
subconsciously look at that more.
I like it.
And then the other subject line, that was the other runner-up, pack your sea bag, exclusive pricing for Holland America Line now.
Yeah. Hold on. There we go. What was great about that one?
I like the pack your sea bag, and then I have exclusive pricing for
Emotional, urgency, exclusivity, beautiful. Hold on.
And
Who's the winner?
It was somewhat like that too, but I just really like this one. The Ocean is Calling, exclusive deal from Holland America Line.
Beautiful, well done. Nice emotional appeal, exclusivity. What is it? All right. So make sure we get your contact info, and folks on our team will spend, like we'll do 3 30-minute blocks and really get it rolling. All right. Thank you all for attending.